Extra time.
You know, just here today, just watching, you know, Bumrah, Shami, Yadav. We know there's two massive Test matches just around the corner. India have flown out of the gates in the Test Championship. You know, we need points desperately as well. We're in our home conditions. We know our conditions, you know, really well. We know what we'll probably get at the Basin Reserve and at Hagley, but then so do India. You know, the teams research exceptionally well these days, and you know, I think they're two very evenly matched teams, and I think we've got, you know, a massive couple of tests in front of us. Oh, look, bowling, batting, fielding, quality. It's a superb team, you know, brilliantly led by Virat. It's a massive challenge, you know, for our lads. Very pleased the way the one day is panned out against them, but that was after, you know, we'd lost 5-0 in the T20s. Yes, it is, and it's not thorny here. It's very clear. It's highlighted in our master agreement that particular IPL window is available for our players, and if they do get, you know, picked up by a franchise, then you know, we're very receptive to them going away and playing in the IPL. There are small challenges at times around scheduling. So for instance, you know, if we're touring England, there's a good example, you know, that might butt up quite closely to the IPL, and then we do have a wee challenge around player availability there. But look, it's not a common that's not a common issue, and it's certainly I'm not being negative. We think when our players get picked up by IPL franchises, it can only develop their game, and I think you know, we've seen some of the results that have come out of, you know, player improvement and development, you know, out of the IPL, which I think's been just a fantastic, you know, part of cricket growth. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's part of the role of, you know, of selection, is to make sure you're continually monitoring your group of players, both the guys who are the incumbent BlackCaps and the guys who we believe are the sort of the next cab off the rank, our POIs, as I mentioned before, and to make sure that, you know, that they're being managed appropriately, that they're, you know, working well in terms of their work-ons, developing their games, and IPL is just part of that. I mean, we have guys go off to England, you know, to play club and county cricket, which is always exciting for our players. One thing to remember too here in New Zealand is, you know, there's some difficulties fiscally or financially. So our domestic cricketers are only contracted for 7 months of a year. So for 5 months, you know, they leave their major association, and they might need to head off to the UK to play some club cricket, and that helps them to make ends meet. But then it's very important that as selectors that we're keeping an eye on these players and making sure that, you know, the cricket that they are playing is, you know, as meaningful as possible, and it's going to help their development. Oh, absolutely, and every country, you know, does. And it's not just about bowling. I mean, we run a succession plan across 3 formats. Across the T20s, the ODIs and the Tests. It drops down, and in our succession plan we have every major association cricketer highlighted on our plan, and we monitor them very closely through our domestic season. We have a series of scouts around the country that feed their thoughts back into the melting pot. I help to coordinate all that, and yeah, look, we're pretty clear on who our developing talent is, and what you do know is that, you know, quality players, the guys like who you've talked about, you know, Wags, Tim, Trent, you know, Kane, Martin Guptill, Ross Taylor, you know, there's one. They're not going to be around forever, and you know, chapters close and chapters open, and our job as selectors and talent ideas to make sure that we've got the next group of cricketers ready to go. Oh, Harry, my old mate Harry. Yeah, look, I mean, there was a recipe that we had, and you know, Marty Crowe captained superbly through that tournament. We had an MO that it seemed to work. You know, we opened with Mark Greatbatch, we opened the bowling with Deepak Patel, and then, you know, through the middle stages, Harry and I would bowl in tandem, and my old mate Bunker Latham, Roddy, he'd come in and bowl a couple of those funny things he used to bowl, and Willie Watson would come back, you know, through the middle as well and bowl a couple. Harry's a good mate of mine, you know, we go back a long way, and we you know, I mean, you look at some of that footage now and you cringe actually, and you know, how unfashionable does that look, but it was effective, and we certainly had our moments. Yeah, I think you can get really hung up on that. You know, it's really important for us that we control almost, and it sounds very cliched this, but your inputs, you know, your processes, and if you do everything as well as you can, and you can look yourself in the mirror, look yourself in the eye and go, well, we can't have done any better there, then I think that's a tick. And I honestly, I look back at the 2019 World Cup, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, we haven't banked the trophy, but I actually believe in my heart that, you know, we were joint winners of that World Cup. England have been awarded it through a quirk of the playing conditions, and good on them. You know, I mean, full credit to them. They had a good tournament. So yeah, it's hard to answer a question like that. You want to win everything you can, but we've got a really good record over the years in ICC tournaments, and the answer is yes. You'd love to win more of them, of course.
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on Extra Time.